good.
Man.
Have you seen those creepy freaking no papa videos?
Yeah. Eating sugar pop pop pop.
No eating sugar pop.
I saw the one where it's like, show what's in your mouth.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted and was like, what does this
variation.
family have with people eating things? And then it was like the grandma getting chastised for eating food.
Oh boy.
No, everyone's, it's like
like the
martial law.
grandpa, the
What
laws
is
that they can't.
what is the show or what is?
I have
the
no
thing?
idea.
I didn't delve
It's weird
too far
because,
into it
because it's like it's fluent English, so it's some characters sound like they're foreign, but some of them sound like they're from America.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like this weird. You should look
think
that up. Look up the origin.
So I think what I can discern from it is the quotes and stuff are taken from a children's show, but then they like turned it into this song, and then over the song they like created this creepy animated thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a mishmash of things, and I think the characters are from a children's show,
Oh, weird.
but like this isn't a part of the show. I don't think.
Yeah.
If this is what children's shows are like now, I'm scared for our children's future.
Open your open
your doo-doo.
He's like, open your mouth. He's like, ha 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 ha. It's so creepy.
You can just take any song and
It's
turn that.
so funny though.
But if you close your
Down with the
Oh gosh. Are we actually recording right now?
I can feel it.
What song
In the
is
air
that?
Get my
tonight.
glasses fixed.
Oh, okay.
Do
But
you?
in the
Yeah.
end, it
See it?
doesn't even.
Dude, speaking of Linkin Park,
Yeah.
there was a.
Did you see
There's-
the Sum 41?
I didn't see
when
that.
Shinoda? Oh,
I didn't see
dude.
that, but I saw him doing a solo show, and it like made me tear up because he was like he played. Can't remember the song now, but it was a Linkin Park song, and he was just playing it solo, like super chill. But
Shinoda.
he's like, I want you guys all to sing loud enough for Chester to hear, and he's like, "Ting."
You're like,
And I'm like,
Dude, what a trooper.
dude.
The backbone of the band.
That guy is, man. I saw there's a video of him performing. Oh crap! What song did they perform? Was it Faint?
yeah,
Yeah, they did
with Sum
Faint
41.
with Sum 41.
I need
Holy
to see
crap,
that
dude.
still.
I was like, Derek from Sum 41 was
Dude,
like,
he's got some chops.
yeah, man.
I saw him at Warped Tour 2 years ago, and it was super good.
Well,
show.
like one to take on that song when
Yeah.
there's a lot of emotion with him, Shinoda just kind of showing up and everyone be like, "Oh frick, it's my Shinoda!" And then on top of it doing really well, like
Yeah.
holy cow!
I need to watch that still. Do you know where
was
that
really
was
good.
at?
I
Was
don't.
it Reading and Leeds in England?
All I know is it popped up in my YouTube
Was
feed,
it
and I was
Leeds?
like,
Was it
"Yes,
Leeds?
of course."
It's a good show. Good
Sum
show.
41 and Mark Shinoda.
Oh, some 41 good show. Like good show.
Quite.
So yeah,
Gentlemen,
That's the
I'm Shinoda.
take a sip of my
Introducing.
What are you drinking?
grape soda.
What kind of grape soda?
Genuine Diet Fago.
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear. Or the
Fago.
sound of your slurs. I'm kidding.
Cussing.
White
So,
devil.
yeah.
White.
Good stuff.
Now what am I gonna do with that?
What?
Anyway.
That's a 10.
What? White devil?
Vanilla bean, sugar, glucose,
The first
I
time
listened to the.
diabetes.
the first time I saw that video,
That's a 10.
like Evan and I were just like laying in bed, and I like watched it, and like I could not stop laughing for 10 minutes.
Did it get oddly?
What is wrong with you?
It's by farewell. I could do what I want.
No,
I do what I want.
no, that's not how this works.
Oh gosh.
This isn't like your last. This isn't a like. I'm getting fired, so I can just kind of be.
Well, it
misbehave.
kind of feels like that.
You're fired.
Oh boy, you fired yourself and you rehired yourself in another country. That's not my problem.
You rehired yourself in another country.
It's like, Zach, we told you you're not on the show anymore. I understand your opinion. I have rehired myself.
I've
as
rehired myself.
Vice chairman of Pop Culture Punks.
I've transferred myself to overseas.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
I feel like we need to Trump because he's
He's the new president. Why?
El Presidente.
Mr. Dink.
Mr. Dink.
Mr. Bills.
Douglas.
Bill.
Douglas Fur.
Yes, Bill.
And together we're Bill. I gave him a generic old man
Hey,
voice.
Bill. Yes, Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Yes, Bill. Together we'll
Do
be
you know-
Lambo.
I know you're gonna be mad at me, but every
Uh-oh.
time when we were watching Attack on Titan, whenever there's kind of a big reveal moment, I always thought of doing the Tim Allen like,
Oh my gosh.
"Arr."
Oh my gosh.
Aaron's a Titan.
Yeah, you get him, Levi. That'd be great.
Oh yeah. It's like the walls protecting humanity. Oh yeah, protecting me. I thought of the best meme.
Wilson is the colossal
Wilson's the
titan.
colossal
Wilson is the colossal titan, dude.
It's like Sonatoki. No. It doesn't even do that. It's just like it does the same intro like Sonatoki. Ningen wa mou sorezore. Morning, neighbor. Just pops up there.
Please
Let's make it.
As soon
Let's
as we're
make
done.
it now.
As soon as we're done with this, I'm piecing that together.
Please.
That'd be amazing.
Morning,
Just like
neighbor.
have it like being that scene from the beginning, and then it just
Yep.
like as it does the pan up the wall, and it's just like Wilson. It's like morning, neighbor.
Morning, neighbor.
That'd be
I don't think so,
amazing.
Tim.
I don't think so, Tim. It's just like,
Oh gosh.
oh man.
That's amazing.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think my favorite things are whenever anime gets memed into something that's totally not related. I don't know
It's
if I
not
should.
related to anime at all.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if you've seen, like, the Phil Swift, the flex tape. No?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's one where it shows, that scene where Trunks cuts Frieza in half? Someone posted a picture, but they photoshopped Phil over. So he's like, has this on. The caption was, to show the power of flex tape, I saw Lord Frieza in half.
You're a crazy man, Phil.
Yeah.
Speaking of Phil's, I need to talk to him tomorrow when I see him at work, but one of my coworkers found this jacket. There's a show on Netflix called Somebody Feed Phil, and I asked him if I could buy it off of him because I was like, what would be funnier than having a jacket for the podcast that literally says Somebody Feed Phil? And we literally can't feed Phil because
we're doing
He's
the
a
podcast.
diabetic horse,
because he's a diabetic horse.
and because I'm the
A
host. Of the
diabetic
podcast.
horse.
I ate
Yoo-hoo.
that one time. I ate like crunchy Reese's while doing the podcast.
Did you, like, go into...
It made
you,
it
like, go
very
into
hard.
shock?
It made it very hard. I didn't. That would have been funny, but it made it very hard to talk because I was like, because it was like the
Correct.
Reese's with the like cookie bites in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
just would have loved to see, like... So, yeah, watching...
That's it. That's how it felt. I thought it would be easier, but it was not.
Yeah, it.
You can't eat anything by microphone. It's going to just sound...
Oh,
can't.
it
that
sounds
one time
awful.
that one time I ate M&Ms too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and you passed
I
them.
offered some to you, and you ate some too.
And Josh was like, what am I going to frickin' do?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, that's about right.
All right, well...
Welcome back to another episode of the Pop Culture People Cutting Pizzas podcast.
We're PCP.
Welcome to the People Cutting Pizza podcast, where we bring
Tripping
pizzas,
out. No.
where we bring pizza culture to the pizza pop culture pit.
We bring pizza,
Pizza
culture
culture.
to Pizza Planet.
My
Toy
pizza
Story.
is not your culture. This week we'll be parsing through all of the new news that's been coming out this
New
past
news.
week. So
Cuteness.
we've got a bunch of indie Switch titles and some other games announced. Gosh dang it, my glasses are fogging up.
Oh, wait,
can't
it's not
read.
even hot in here.
That's
You just-
because I'm
hot
just,
over
I'm just
there.
naturally
It's
hot.
real
just-
hot over there.
Body just
Oh,
admits
boy.
Steam.
Cyberpunk 2077 goodness and a bunch of other random video game and movie news. So yeah.
That's it. Let's
Yeah,
do the
that's
funny
it.
stuff first because we're all hyper. So
And I will react.
What's the funny
Wow.
stuff?
it was just like some
Cool.
of the movie news things.
Oh, down at the bottom there?
Yeah, I just was like, I don't know what all the news we have
Also,
is. So
why are they making a live action Dora movie?
I don't know.
They're
dude.
making a live action.
Also,
Dora movie?
correct.
Somebody posted a picture of like the lead actress on Reddit, and
She's
it got
not even
creepy
Hispanic.
real fast.
She's not
And
Hispanic.
she's like only 17. I was like, what is going on?
Oh.
Like, these people are weird.
Oh.
This movie is going to be a
Stop.
travesty.
Stop,
This
people.
movie's going to be a
The
travesty.
guy, you know, the guy who plays Paul Rudd and so Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
The guy who plays Paul Rudd.
You know the guy who plays
Paul Rudd is
Michael
Diego.
Pena?
Yeah, Michael Pena. So he's the guy
a
in
Scientologist.
Ant-Man. He's the guy in Ant-Man who is like his friend when he's like, hey, there's this job we got to do.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
that guy. So that actor is playing Dora's dad in the live action version of Dora the Explorer. Which I was like, so is it a comedy? Like, I don't.
It might be a mockumentary of Dora.
Did you ever?
That would be the
did you ever see that
freakiest
YouTube
thing.
video that
would
was
be
like
weird.
kind of like a joke back in the day, but it was like live action Dora.
Yes.
But it was like horror
Was
themed.
it Comedy Central that did that?
I don't
or-
remember. But
It
there was
might
also a
have been.
Pokemon one, and they were like super dark, like live action trailers.
Yeah, I remember the
remember-
Dora the Explorer is like, wow, someone like
And then
de-gutted him. And
he's like,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I remember there was
Dude,
a vine
I'd
of Dora.
watch that.
There was like Dora in the Hood. That was a good one.
What?
It was
was
this
that?
Dora that like she's like, I'm Dora. Can you find something and just like. I think it was something like, can you find the drugs? And she accidentally walks in on a drug bust or something. And they all like, I forgot what it was, but just, it was a funny,
oh boy,
Oh god.
mocking childhood cartoons is funny.
it is.
But sometimes they're a little they try too hard. But if they like are, it's interesting to think about that. Some
I think
mockumentaries
don't-
of cartoons,
I've
or
never
some
seen
mockumentaries.
Dora, so I wouldn't understand like.
It's more
the
just like,
references.
because I've seen like when they mock another cartoon, it's like, oh, haha, they do that and something, but like, I don't know. There's some mockeries that just do a better job.
I think this
I don't
is
know
the
what it
thing
is.
for me that makes it funny. I think there are people who have way too inflated egos, and they get really excited when they're like, "Ha, look at these flaws in Dora the Explorer, the show," and then that's their like mockery of it. Versus something where, like, I think the video that we were talking about, it was like, what if Dora was like a murder mystery show, and then it's kind of building off of how ridiculous would this be, versus like, there's this girl like yelling at kids to like open a map, and then the map is like this.
Hey,
Ah.
Dora was pretty forceful in the.
She was open the freaking map, dog.
I do remember like watching a clip of her, and she was like, how did it go? Like, can like point to the yellow bridge, do it
now,
No.
I'll kill you.
order now.
Order now.
How rude.
Order now and pay $5.99 in shipping twice.
Do you know what that drives? I saw an infomercial that did the like for only 3 easy payments of $49.99. I'm like, so $150. Like, but wait,
That's what they did when I went to shop for mattresses.
get
I
my
asked-
left shoe free. Just pay processing and handling.
And if you order now, you get two extra
Yeah.
extra packages.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I paying for?
Order
Like,
now,
what
you'll
is
double
this?
the offer. 2 left shoes.
Oh gosh.
It's
We should do
Alec
it.
Baldwin is playing.
yeah, and then one of the
Thomas
other
Wayne.
things, Thomas Wayne.
I thought you were
in
gonna say he was gonna play Swiper.
Oh,
Dora,
gosh.
I've come. Ha ha ha.
Dora, I've come to swipe from this. That's
Sounds
more
more
William
like-
Shatner. Dude, William Shatner.
Swiper.
Oh no, it's Swiper. I've come to swipe from the secret treasure land of.
Just like blast. Swiper, no swiping. Has
Oh.
gotten me again.
No, it's like Swiper, no swiping. Oh, man.
Drat. I've been foiled again.
Again.
That'd be amazing. But anyway,
I
Alec
would-
So yeah,
Baldwin,
Alec Baldwin
is playing Thomas Wayne in the Joaquin Phoenix
Joker movie.
Joker movie, which was
Wait,
like,
Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker?
yeah.
Why?
Well, they're making a standalone Joker movie.
Yeah.
In
Oh.
Joaquin. You can't just say Joaquin.
Joaquin
Joaquin.
Phoenix. That's how I thought it was
Joaquin
pronounced.
Phoenix.
He
Yeah, they're
was-
making a standalone. I don't know if it was confirmed that Alec Baldwin was playing it, or was it?
That's what the article
optioned as
said.
it.
I just kind of passed
Yeah.
through. I just
Wait,
thought it
who
was
is
kind of
Thomas
funny.
Wayne again? Oh,
Bruce
Bruce,
Wayne's dad.
Dad's.
Bruce Dad's.
Bruce Dad's.
Bruce Dadja.
Bruce's dad's.
It'll.
Blast.
I'm
Thomas
interested to see
Wayne.
how he's involved in. the
Bless
plot.
you.
Nice. Oh my goodness.
Don't
plot.
do that. Now it's gonna smell. Sicko.
Don't all of them smell already?
Yeah.
No.
Because the
well,
burps
I
have
don't
cycled through each of them.
We
That's
gotta
true.
get that Listerine cannon.
know. Oh
Just-
gosh.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to see like a Febreze commercial and it's us like just like one of the random clips of spraying furniture is us spraying the pop mics.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Or those like usually it's the college kid who it's like, have you never done laundry the entire year you've been away at school? Like use Febreze.
Yeah.
And they just
Spray the clothes.
so
It
then it's
works.
like
That's how you do it.
that's it.
You Febreze it.
On to the next one.
Bleach. live
Yet
action.
another unnecessary, unwanted anime live action movie.
And the funny thing is none of them have been good. So Gintama, terrible. Fullmetal Alchemist, terrible. Mob Psycho 100, terrible.
And of course,
Death Note, terrible. Well,
I heard that
they
was
did-
actually pretty good. It was
Real-
it was decent. I heard it was decent.
I heard it was like the live action, like Americanized Death Note.
Yeah.
Maybe for the layman, it was decent.
For layman.
No,
The
here, like,
plebs.
because I know you're a huge Death Note fan. Here's to give context. Literally, and this is like, if you watch the anime show, this is spoiler for the movie, but you shouldn't watch it because the anime is obviously superior source material. So you know how, like, what's the one pop star's name?
I can't remember, but I know who
You know what I'm talking about? The one
Yeah.
pop star girl. Instead, like, it's like she's in the same high school as Light, and Light falls in love with her, and basically, like, as soon as to impress her, he just reveals basically the whole thing about the Death Note and the secrets, just to, like, win her over. And then she's just like, do you know what you should do? You should use that. You should use that to, like, overthrow society and be powerful.
I'm sure
That sounds dumb.
That's
That
literally
does sound
that
crazy.
was
So
Let-
have you seen the
No.
Death Note?
For some reason, I heard people say it wasn't as bad, but I also could have just been a passing
Yeah,
comment.
I haven't
Sure.
watched any
Yeah.
of them
I
just
won't take
because
any.
like I don't want to be.
I watched a lot of
disappointed, so I'm just
I watched a lot of people that I respect on YouTube. I like watched the review of it, and it was like people that prefaced it saying, "I'm a fan of the original Death Note," and like this betrays the source material entirely.
Here's my thing. Stop turning cartoons into real life. It's a cartoon for a reason. Don't do it. It's just
Yeah.
don't do it.
I
That's
feel
why-
like they've been doing it for a long time. It's
Yeah.
never happened in America.
Well, no, it's just
I'm
happening
not even
a lot
saying
more.
anime. I'm just saying everything. Why are you making Dora the Explorer live action? You don't need it. Why? Well,
People are-
it'll sell.
I think
We
people are
know
running out of ideas.
of all the things that we could make.
Why is he Donald Trump?
'Cause
We're running out of
that's the kinda
options. I'm
stupid-
running out of options. You don't think I want a Dora movie? I want a Dora movie.
Little do we know
It'll
that
be
Dora
huge.
Dora the Explorer live action is like an executive order. I want Dora the Explorer live action.
Or George Lucas. I want to make a
make a
Dora movie.
Chicken meat Jar Jar.
Well, the thing is, I was watching Red Letter Media, and they talked about the Slender Man movie, and that was another one where not only did it suck, but it's like Slender Man's not a thing anymore. Why was that made into a movie? You know, and especially with the whole thing that happened here in Wisconsin, the one killings.
Yeah, it was. No,
really-
she survived.
Or no, did she? Yeah,
she
But
survived.
the two
but
friends
it was
tried to
psycho.
sacrifice, quote unquote, her. to
Yeah.
Slender Man, which was
There's some other people that got killed though.
Yeah.
Other stories, not in Wisconsin though.
also fun. Box office fact: Kevin Spacey's movie that released like 2 weeks ago
Made
made
like $20.
$20. Yeah.
Sucker. That's what he gets.
The funny part is like 2 people decided to go watch it.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll give him a shot.
Someone joked online.
Or it was his mom and dad.
Yeah, someone joked that it was like
We
Kevin
support our
Spacey. Yeah, someone joked it was like Kevin Spacey went to see it twice. So,
I wouldn't doubt it.
but
That's
No,
hilarious.
like him and the prison guard went to go see it. Like,
I don't know if he's arrested. I think he's
Yeah,
just
he's-
Is he
publicly
just-
chastised.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Yes. So
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
It wasn't bad. I like the main actor.
He like leans over. He leans over to the only other dude in the movie. He's like, "Hey, that Kevin Spacey's a pretty cool guy."
don't talk to me, Kevin.
Kevin, I'm trying to watch. Don't drag yourself further down the hole, Kevin. I'm just saying, he's a good actor.
Cut the crap.
Oh gosh.
So help me God, Kevin. If you talk to me one more time.
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, I still need to pick up Baby Driver.
What? Oh, it's such a good
I still
movie.
haven't seen Baby Driver.
Lastly, and this is actually good news for
This
you.
is good news, yeah.
Early
I had
screening
no
responses
doubts.
of Aquaman have been noting it as good, not great, but
Reviews. The reviews are in. It's
Good.
okay.
it's fine.
Hollywood has spoken.
It's alright. It's alright.
But they have compared it to the early Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 movies, which
Like
I was
which
like,
ones?
I didn't
Iron
read
Man?
specifically.
They're probably like
but-
Hulk, Incredible Hulk, maybe.
Daredevil, X-Men 1, you know, like those ones? Which is a joke because they're not in Phase 1.
Yeah.
Thanks for laughing along, guys. Really feel supported here.
Not at all.
Frick you
Not at
guys.
all. I'm pretty excited, as I said yesterday.
I'd
so.
go see it with you.
Sounds good. I'm gonna consider that a lock. I'll buy you a ticket.
Hey,
I don't have to go
even
see
better.
it.
You can go watch it in Japanese.
It'd probably make it better.
Yeah, I'm like, this movie's great.
I can't hear any of the dialogue.
What would Aquaman's what would he say?
He's like in the water.
I was actually watching an interview. I was watching an interview this morning with, I think it was Collider. Some guy in Collider was interviewing Jeff Johns, who was the guy I was telling you about yesterday.
Not John Jeffs.
I don't know who that is. But he was
a real person. That was a dumb joke. Continue.
I got pretty excited watching that, so
Good.
because he's
Cool.
remaking a Green Lantern Corps movie too. So
I just want it to be dark. I want it to be gritty. I want it to be angsty. That's all I
I
want.
mean that's the
You want
DC
it to be
universe.
angsty?
So
But they don't like
It's
to
already
do that.
no.
Like,
DC doesn't like to do that.
not in the movies.
Every DC movie has
What,
been
dude?
dark.
No.
We just talked about that yesterday.
No. Have you seen Batman vs Superman? It's
Yes,
like a melodramatic
it's so
mess.
angsty. That's angsty.
It's melodramatic. It's not dark. There's a difference.
The movie
Okay,
itself
but
is
that-
the movie itself is literally dark though.
yeah.
It's like if you're comparing it to like other happier movies, like
I guess.
and compared
And we
to
talked
like,
about Teen
Justice League.
like if you think about the archetypal Superman, like Henry Cavill's Superman is like the darkest Superman that
Yeah.
you'll ever see.
And dude, that Teen Titans trailer, that was like dictionary definition of edge.
Yeah.
So edged.
That
it
was
was
like
too
hardcore 2000s emo
F
kid.
Batman.
F Batman.
But
F
if
my
you-
parents
if you
too
watch
while
the-
I'm at it.
Darkness inside of me.
But if you
I
watch
was
the
born
Aquaman
into
trailer, it
darkness.
looks like it's going to be pretty like action packed. So
Ballin'.
yeah.
Sorry, Phil. I'm sorry for bashing on DC.
I don't care. It's
I
all
do
good.
it a little.
No,
I
he's not one of those wuss bags.
I will watch all of the
He ain't no freaking wuss. He could take it.
I will watch all of the DC movies in theaters unashamedly. So
no matter how bad they are.
Come in your Superman leotard.
I saw Suicide
and-
Squad in theaters, so
How dare you?
went with
Ooh.
Bus.
Mr. Bears did say he loved it. So
He did.
I don't know why.
At the time, I came out of the theater liking the movie. So, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen it again since. So,
Huh.
yeah.
Maybe
Interesting.
go back and watch it and see what you think.
I think my perspective is, I go into DC's movies now just expecting like an action-packed hero film, whereas like I go into Marvel movies expecting like a certain like narrative push.
A certain.
sure.
So,
I think that's fair.
yeah. Plus, I grew up loving like the X-Men movies and Spider-Man movies, so like my standards for superhero films is
We
pretty
still need
low.
to. Oh, we need to watch Spider-Man 2. We were gonna do that.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Well, I'm here tomorrow too.
I
Nah, we don't have time.
Don't have time. Literally.
You can't make time for your little brother.
I literally don't have time.
I'm
don't
seeing
have
a
time to
4.5
give.
movie tomorrow night. Or
Yeah,
a 4.5 hour
Phil
movie
has
tomorrow.
time. Phil will watch it with me.
And he's not going to be here.
You're my new
I
brother.
won't be here. Yeah.
Go for it.
But yeah, those are the main news things that you had.
Yes.
There's a couple video game ones. Assassin's Creed. People said that there's not a new game coming out next year.
Yeah,
They're gonna take a year off.
Ubisoft has confirmed that they are not doing a game next year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Which
Odyssey
I think is
and-
good. I think Ubisoft. That's one instance where like a game developer actually like changed their actions and realized like what they're doing is bad. Which
Telling you, man, Ubisoft, they're on the up and up.
because even like
digging what
Odyssey
they're
looks
doing.
pretty sweet,
Yep.
and they're adding a lot more RPG elements and stuff to it. So
Everyone
It'll
I've
be interesting
been
to
everyone
see.
I've been reading who's been getting to play it at cons and stuff recently and different conventions has been saying it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's even better than
Plus it's like
Origins, which
Greece,
is
so
crazy.
I'm tempted to grab it. I'll probably wait to see what Black Friday has in
They-
store. So.
I think literally every single year they have discounted the Assassin's Creed game
Yeah.
ever since like
Ubisoft always
Yeah.
does that with their
2 or
games.
3. So I will probably not buy it in October. And plus that'll
There's
give
too
me
many
time
other
to finish
games.
Spidey and
The
World Ends with You comes out in
Yeah.
October. So.
Does it really?
It dropped
does.
in price
Oh my
now
gosh.
too. I think it's 40
Is
or
it?
$50.
I thought it was 50, but
Even
I'll
so,
double-
that's
I'll
cheaper
double-check
than
that, yeah.
the
I'll see
standard
that.
60. So
Yep.
I want a physical, but I'll download it first because I'll be in Yield, Japan.
in Yield,
Ye
Japan.
old Japan.
So yeah, that'll be a good one. Plus Spidey comes out. You're getting
Yeah,
your
dog.
new PS4.
Oh,
So,
yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Battle-
I am.
Battlefield
Sir.
5 has
Hurting.
abysmal pre-orders.
Good.
What's going on?
There's a
Why-
lot of theories, some more political and social than others, but
Wait, like there's no like what do you mean by abysmal pre-order?
In
Like, the
comparison to
content-
years past,
in comparison
the number
to,
of people pre-ordering the
Oh,
game
okay,
has
okay.
declined.
People just aren't.
the
incredibly.
number, yeah.
the running theory is just because Black Ops 4 Call of Duty has always been bigger than Battlefield. sales wise.
No, but Battlefield 1 and 2 I thought had really good.
And is it November?
I mean,
when it's
they've
coming
had
out?
good sales, but Call of Duty's what?
Is it coming out in November?
I don't know actually.
I'm gonna double check
But
that.
Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2 come out at the same time. So
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Red Dead is going to sell like hotcakes.
Oh my
so.
gosh, it's gonna
I'm
be
excited for
bananas.
that.
I watched the trailer for that, and I really want to buy it now. 'Cause
I remember
it
playing the
looks super
first
good.
Red Dead, and I think it's only just because it was on the PS3. It just I enjoyed the story elements in the setting, but I think it was because the graphics.
It was
kind
kind of old.
It was
It's-
very old, and it
yeah.
was very.
This
clunky.
one just looks amazing.
But, like,
yes.
Yeah.
A refined Red Dead would be quite.
I'd play that
treat.
online.
Story wise, it looks fun
I would too.
too. Like you're like a
Dude.
bandit.
Do you guys want to play online?
Let's go on and be like the three.
Pop Culture Punk's gang, baby.
That'd be sweet.
We're all gonna be
running the West.
That'll probably be another Black Friday one I'll keep out.
We'll be
Yeah,
the
Keep an
three.
eye out
yeah.
for.
Be the three amigos.
Yeah.
Put on our ponchos and like, hola, senoritas. Do you see the new
Bang,
Dora
bang.
movie? Did you see
You
the
see
live
the
action
Dora
Dora movie?
movie?
Oh gosh. That's hilarious.
So I just read Battlefield 5 comes out in like the middle of October, which is literally the
So right
worst.
when Red Dead comes
So
out.
it's right when Red Dead comes out. It's right when World Ends With You
Spider-Man,
dropped.
World
It's
Ends With
also
You.
when pretty close to when Odyssey drops as well.
Yeah.
It's coming October
When
too.
does-
So
When does Black Ops 4 drop? Is that November?
I thought it was
Usually Call of
October.
Duty is November, but
Yeah,
they
I'll
might be
check.
shifting it to October now.
October is usually a pretty big game month, isn't it? Because I know that's when Mario Odyssey came out.
Yeah, October
last
and
year.
November are usually pretty big because it's coming up. It's like right before the holiday
Yeah.
sales and stuff.
Oh my gosh, is it the same day?
It might be
What two games?
Black Ops 4.
Oh
And-
no. I think it's Friday versus a Tuesday.
Black Ops
Okay.
4 and
Yeah. So Battlefield
okay.
comes out on a Tuesday, Black Ops
So
on a
it's a
Friday.
big competition.
Yeah, I think the
So-
other thing that happened, which people have been talking about, is so like they introduced female characters and it's World War II, so people have been like, a lot of people have been up in arms about that, just because it's like quote unquote not historically accurate, which is dumb in my opinion. But the CEO at E3 basically like told all of their fans like F off, like if you don't like what we're doing, don't buy our game.
And
And
look
then
what
they're-
they
Yeah,
did.
so
not
like
buying the
that's
game.
another
I mean,
theory that
yeah.
people have about it. So
I mean, I guess respect for standing up for your title, but also like
like
I
it's
don't know.
fine to like tell people to like calm down, but like literally telling them not to buy your game, like guaranteed most of your fans of that game are probably like
it also is kind of dumb that they're like that's not historically accurate. It's like, well, you are playing a video game.
yeah.
Well, that was kind of the argument.
But I guess Battlefield is kind of
Battlefield's always been the one that
Like the
tries to
real-
be a little more realistic,
Yeah.
but
Right. And I think that's the thing that to me is interesting is like really it shouldn't matter, but I think it's kind of the question of like what is Battlefield trying to do? Like is it trying to be historically accurate? And I think for so long their franchise has set up not to justify people who are like, wait a second, this isn't historically accurate, because I think like there were infantry groups that were all women. So like
yeah, there
It's
were
fine.
females in World War II.
Right, exactly. So I don't think that argument holds up, but I think it is. I think people are more skeptical of like, okay, but then like make it accurate to the actual history. Don't just be like,
Yeah. And
hey,
I mean
again,
EA
even then
has
it's
said
inconsequential.
they have like made it clear like the reason they're doing this is because like they want girls to have a person that they can like play as, because like the EA guy basically said like, I want my daughter to be able to play this game and like play as a character that like she can actually relate to. So like
Which is
they
fine.
have made it clear that's what they're doing, which is
Mhm.
fine in my opinion, but like they also told their fans to F off, which is like I think
Yeah.
a lot of them did. Like
Right, exactly.
they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll just buy Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption, because like I feel like Red Dead is in the same space as like people who play Call of Duty. It's like a big AAA game, and so like I think people were just like, all right, there's
Well, Red Dead
two
reaches
other-
even farther than that because Call of Duty now is like a niche audience compared to before. Well,
No, I think there's a lot of gamers out there who only play like mainline AAA games, and
Yeah,
like I think that's
100%.
that's like the majority
Okay.
of.
I just
like,
haven't heard people
sales.
talk about. I don't know anyone that still like besides you plays Call of Duty.
I mean,
right
I don't
now.
play Call of Duty, but
Yeah, so that's why I'm
I think
curious
that's just
as to,
because
like,
of the
the-
circle you're in. But I
Yeah,
think like
that's
true.
the majority of gamers, I think, are playing gamers, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call a gamer, but they're playing Call of Duty. I think that's why Call of Duty is the number one selling game every year, because
It's weird.
yeah,
I didn't like you think because like I just remember thinking like even when all my friends got to high school, everyone just kind of resigned to like Call of Duty is just not that fun anymore. But then it's still So then in my mind, it mentally registered as like, okay, so it's kind of falling off, but nope.
I don't think it is.
Still going strong.
Yeah, still going strong.
And I think there are people who are a little skeptical of this one. To be honest, having played Fortnite and stuff, I think if I were to enjoy a battle royale game the most, it probably actually would be Black Ops 4.
A more realistic first person.
Just like it's more frantic. Because like I was playing Titanfall a couple nights ago again, and like just how fast and frantic and you're just flying and you're going and you can actually like be mobile. Whereas Fortnite gets really boring to me because it's so slow in a way, and even the gunfights are like action. Yeah, and then it's just like beep, and then either you're still there or it's done, and you kind of have to. I don't know. It's just not as like fast paced, which is just not my personal cup of tea. Whereas I think, and even with like PUBG, I think PUBG is closer to Fortnite. Whereas I think Battlefield and Black Ops going into that space as a first-person shooter doing it, I think could be really cool. But I think with the mechanics of Black Ops 4 with like wall running and like different guns and some of like they're adding vehicles and stuff to it too. So I think the future setting and having it be a little more bonkers and obnoxious is going to make it more appealing to a wider audience versus like World War II.
Yeah, I think that's
Royale.
Another thing is I think even though there's a loud minority of people crying about how like shooters are becoming too futuristic, I think the majority of shooter fans actually like the more like futuristic like jetpacks and like all this cool like wall running mechanics and stuff.
So I think
with World War I, people were like, okay, like don't do this again. Like we want to be able to fly up walls and like jump over people and like
because it's boring in a way.
Yeah. More spastic.
Is that close enough?
Yeah, you're just all right. You're
no,
good.
I think I'm still a little.
You're good.
It's
you just gotta speak up.
It's just like right there. How's that?
Gotta take it so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everybody's just buying Black Ops and Red Dead probably.
Well, I think it's
and I think because Black Ops is doing an actual battle royale mode, I think that's driving a lot of sales too.
Yes,
because people are interested in it.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, like if I could get it for like $10 at some point, I'd probably try it. Just
probably like 3 weeks
interesting.
3 weeks after release.
Right.
It'll be on sale Black Friday at least. But
maybe
not for $10.
I think the other thing that's interesting is like everyone I think is pinning it just on like, oh well, EA told everyone to screw off and all this stuff. If you look at October, it is stacked. Like it's like you have Mario Party coming out that month. You have The World Ends With You coming out that month. You have Odyssey October 2nd. You have Red Dead Redemption. You have Black Ops, and you have Battlefield 5. And I think that's not even all of them. Like I think there's more. Yeah. Not to mention Spider-Man coming out the month before, and Spyro Reignited. Yeah. And I don't know if there's any other big titles.
I think Spyro's been delayed.
Oh, that got delayed. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. But anyway, to that point, like. I do think people are discounting a little bit. I think they want to pick the Battlefield versus Call of Duty fight, which I think is probably partially part of it. But I think it also is
Red
like
Dead that's playing into it.
I think it's just there's a ton of games that month. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, it could be like because gamers are such a group that tend to bend into different outlets too. Like someone might be like, well, I'm picking up Assassin's Creed because it sure looks better than Battlefield. Like, or I'm picking up. You know, I was going to play Battlefield, but I'm going to play Red Dead because Lord knows I want another Rockstar game right now. Like, I think there's just so much stuff. And I think people are actually having to make hard calls.
And I mean, in that sense, it could be a combination of both. Like, people are like, okay, I won't buy your game. I have plenty of other games. So
I think you're exactly
right. It could be
a
combination of both.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
Anytime EA suffers, it's like a villain getting hurt in a movie. You're just like... kind of asking for it, dude. Like this is what you get.
Although I think I would rather see Activision suffer than EA, but
I don't know. EA has tarnished so many things that I love dearly, i.e. Mass Effect and I feel Battlefront. So that
Battlefront thing kind of got to me too.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for 2.
It's just
but they messed it up.
It's frustrating because they could, if they literally just would have made the new game a carbon copy of the old one
they could
with
just
the
remastered
modern graphics. If they literally would have done that, it would have been the greatest game of all time. I am so confident in that. But the fact that they just pulled all these stunts to make it this like I don't know, this very generic shooter and
with
whatever.
loot boxes and terrible servers apparently.
Blah.
Yeah.
Bah.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
EA can shove it.
That's a shame.
How do you want to see
That's a
How do you want to see Activision fall in terms of like?
What did they do to you?
Yeah, what did they do to you?
They're a crappy company. I don't know.
On the spot.
Are you
Becky.
asking me how I want to see them fall or why I want to see
Why?
them fall?
I guess how and why.
I don't know. They have the same greedy business practices that EA has. I guess.
It's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
No,
That was literally your reason.
No,
I'm
we
kidding.
said it ruined a franchise we love, the Battlefront, and we took it as a
they
front to
ruined it.
ourselves.
They ruined it with the first one too. They were never going
That's
to
my
make
point.
it good.
That's
you
what
know?
we're saying.
That's why I'm like Activision. I'm like, whatever.
But
like,
in my mind, like Battlefield. If we're talking Battlefield versus Call of Duty, because in my mind, that's like Battlefield is still better than Call of Duty in my opinion. But
interesting.
yeah,
I would agree.
I think the only reason Activision is successful is because they're capitalizing on the exact same game every year, and they're doing it like blatantly. So it's like it's frustrating.
Yeah.
So, but Blizzard and Activision are the same company, so to see Activision fall would be to see Blizzard fall as well.
I don't think so. I think, in a way, yes. I think there's a lot of. I think Blizzard
has enough of their and they have enough IPs to keep.
I mean,
themselves afloat.
Blizzard has their own control, but Activision Blizzard is like the same company.
Yeah.
Because Activision bought Blizzard, I think.
Right. But yeah, I don't think they're ever gonna fall because Overwatch and Diablo 3
Well,
coming out.
people are saying that
stuff.
Overwatch is kind of on the decline.
They always say that. Like people have been saying that about Fortnite and stuff too. And like I hear Ninja just gets more subscribers by the day, and there's more people picking it up, and they're doing patches and stuff. Like I just don't know where people are getting this information.
I mean, it's because there is a majority of people that are like, they just moved. It's not because like Overwatch is a bad game and it's declining, but they're just moving on to other new shooters that are coming out. So it just kind of logically makes sense.
Right. It's more just, I always find it interesting of like, I always hear people in the or read people in the comments who are always like, man, people still play this game, but it's like, okay, but you're just
It's 2 years old. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I'm not saying like there should be a superior. People shouldn't flaunt it as this like, well, I don't play that anymore. I'm saying more out of.
I do wonder.
It makes sense if it is true that like it's just not.
Yeah, I
as
do
popular
wonder
as it used to be.
I do wonder about its longevity. Like I don't think it's going to be a game that's going to be around forever. So
I mean, yeah, there's a reason Activision releases Call of Duty every year, because it's like it drives artificial interest in the game. So
yeah,
it's hard to keep the same game.
well, I think even with
going.
that though, you can pump in new guns, you pump in new maps, you can do these like more basic changes. Whereas with Overwatch, because it's a team hero shooter, there's like metas you have to balance. There's maps you have to construct for a specific type of gameplay. Like,
but
it's
in
a
that
more
vein,
complicated.
it's hard. It's
beast.
harder to maintain the interest because
exactly.
you're not like people are very fickle. I feel like
Oh, you betcha.
Gamers are the most.
consumers are very fickle. So like,
I'd honestly say
Yeah.
gamers are probably the most fickle consumer group.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm not. That's a huge generalization because there's
No,
so
it's pretty
many.
much true.
There's so many market facets in the market, but at the same time, like the most vocative people in terms of complaining about stuff is gamers. So
Yep.
oh yeah.
like us, we
Wanna
like to complain.
keep running?
Yeah.
So, because I know we want to get to Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4, so freaking pumped, man. Rock hands in the air for that one. Did you see that?
No, I
They're
saw
making-
that they have a trailer out, but
It looks so good.
did we ever play Streets of Rage together? Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage.
I feel like
Got it behind me.
I must have played it at some point, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
because I honestly
so it's that OG brawler.
this may be blasphemy, but I mix that and Fatal Fury up sometimes.
No, they're kind of
So,
confusing.
Yeah.
So I don't take it personally, but anyway,
Or
Streets
Final
of Rage.
Fight, Fatal Fury, and Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
All get mixed up in my head.
But yeah, Streets of Rage 4 is coming, so I'm really excited for that. I love brawlers, and there just haven't been very many good ones. And the art style and
That's
some
true.
of the stuff that they added into this one looks like, oh boy.
If you could do like a modern day brawler of some franchise, what would you want? Question for both of y'all.
From the past,
Dude, like a new
Turtles in Time?
a new age Turtles in Time would be
like a
that.
new age.
Maybe
Yeah,
not
probably.
like not even like Turtles in Time, but like
just like a Ninja
just
Turtles
that
new
game.
Turtle
that
brawler,
mechanics,
yeah.
but with
Yeah,
I would
probably.
like that a lot.
That's a really good question.
I was never a huge brawler fan.
Honestly,
But-
like I just think I really want. I feel like it's such a cool genre that you could make very simply, and
Mhm.
then add like really awesome elements to it that could be amazing.
Have you ever
Like,
played the Michael Jackson one?
No.
It's a brawler. You play as Michael Jackson, and like all of your moves are like
Yeah.
spin moves and stuff.
He
It's
does like the
hilarious.
moonwalk and
I
stuff.
have
yeah.
seen that game, but
I was playing it with my friend Blake when we went to the arcade. It was
Nice.
It was fun.
but I would love to see like
Did you play as Michael Jackson? He played as Bubbles.
No, there's 4 Michael Jacksons with different color suits, like black, red, white, and something else.
It's pretty great.
how's
I just imagine-
Because when you get your special, you have like a little dance party, and you're like spinning around like, oh, oh, and you're like kicking everybody out of the way. It's fun.
Allegedly. But yeah, I would love to see one that had some like cooler mechanics where you could like dodge roll behind enemies, or you could actually like maneuver more, and if they even had like different types of weapons, or you could do,
maneuverability is big in that because I picked
Mhm.
up Fatal Fury on the 3DS because the SNES. I think the SNES port is kind of crappy, but like the older Fatal Furies are so hard to play because the movement is so limited. Like
yeah,
you can't even run in that.
it's very
it's just so like
right. It's very slow. It's very inaccurate, and so I think if someone were to take like that genre and add a bunch of modern elements to it, where it's like if you could do like a combo system like in a fighting game, that would be amazing.
Do you know what I wanted to pick up, but I think they took it off the shop? Is the Scott Pilgrim game? That's like a
Yep. Yeah.
That one's like a pixelated
yeah. It's
fighter.
like a brawler.
You get to play as Stephen Stills and Scotty.
Young
And
Neil.
then, I think, no, who do you play? Oh, can you play as Wallace? I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
But I love Wallace.
What games do you play? Oh, or what do you play?
Legend of
Zelda,
Mario.
Tetris. Fun fact, that's actually where I got the idea of calling you that boy, young Zach.
Do they call him Young Neil? That boy, Young Neil?
No, they don't call him that boy, young Neil, but they call him young Neil. So I
Yeah.
was like, well, we need to add something on to make it more
I
interesting.
appreciate that because
You betcha.
I'm a huge Scott Pilgrim fan.
Young Neil, baby. Anyway,
Thank you.
Saints Row 3 is also coming on the Switch.
Yeah,
I
I never really played Saints Row, but it's kind of cool just to see other games.
Yeah,
I remember I bought the 4th Saints Row and I was like, it was okay.
Saints
It
Row.
wasn't.
I'm going to say this. Oh, I should save this for... I'm going to say it now. I'm going to go in detail on a Tiltbrigade episode. I think the Saints of Row franchise is way more fun than Grand Theft Auto.
Whoa.
I say that unabashedly. Like,
I've never played Grand Theft Auto, so I wouldn't.
Saints Row is just
But
like
some people
so obnoxious and cartoony.
Have we played any others outside of 5 though? Because a lot of people say like some of the older ones are much better, like Vice City and like I think Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I
and
think the
stuff.
reason I like Saints Row more is one, you get to create your own character, which is
That is
I'm a
true.
huge fan of.
I did like that. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because I made like a really gruff Australian dude.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is like I think I just like the wackiness more. That even in the old Grand Theft Auto games, I think it was still grounded more in reality. Whereas in like the newer ones, there's all this like crazy banana stuff that happens that I just think it makes it like more fun
That's true.
and it's more rowdy.
Did they come up with the 4th Saints Row?
Yes.
Okay,
That was,
that-
the,
I was
that was
just-
the president's one. So Saints Row 3 is the one where you're like running the business or whatever.
Okay.
And that's probably my favorite. Saints Row 3 is a lot of fun. You can like run around and just like wrestler move people, so you can just like suplex people on the sidewalk.
It's your
pretty
game.
funny.
That game's like
pretty
an
great.
embodiment of you.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then Saints Row 4 is the president one where you
that's the
like
one I
become the
played.
president of the U.S. and the aliens take over.
Yeah.
That one's pretty fun too. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then what else we got? Hat in Time coming out on Switch,
Yes.
which you had been saying is a
Yes.
fantastic
I think I might have to pick that
platformer.
one
It
up,
is
actually.
so good. When you retweeted that to me, I was like super, super excited.
Mhm.
Well, and also they said DLC for PC people because I bought it way back when.
Yeah, I saw
'Cause
the
I
new
was-
character, which is pretty cool.
You get a new character, and if you download the DLC on the release date, you get it for free.
Whoa.
That is how you do DLC.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty.
That's
cool.
It's a big
Super
deal.
excited. Yeah, and another character too, which apparently like a minor people. We won't get into politics, but apparently some people don't like the new character because she's African American.
Hmm.
God forbid. Gosh.
Hmm.
It's like, dude, it is a little kid platformer.
Yeah, it's a platform.
They are children.
Well, and it's
Get off your high horse.
Both the characters look great. Like
They're-
that's,
no, I like both the designs. I honestly would play as the other one if you can switch off between the two. But
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that they're adding the multiplayer because that is a game that I could see being really fun
yeah,
with
definitely
multiplayer. So
for sure.
because they've got like all the levels are pretty much hub worlds and stuff like that.
Nice.
So
No one can ever be happy about anything, can
Nope.
nope. But I mean,
Um,
it was I only say that out of like. Someone did like an analysis video of like the response to the DLC, and then some people were like, "I don't know where he got that." like he had said he'd got it from like I don't know if it was like some subreddit or something, but it was just like it was people in the comments were like, I haven't heard that opinion yet from other people, so it might have just been like a very
It's probably 4chan or something.
yeah, I think it was 4chan.
nuts.
Someone had mentioned that, but
Yeah.
Friggin'
Never trust
4chaners.
4chan.
Bunch of idiots.
Yeah, there was a lot of other games announced, like indie. That they had two Nindies over the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you indies. Two nindies.
Indies.
Nindies.
I didn't list all of them here because
There's a lot of
them didn't
and I
really
don't
look
really
that
care.
interesting to me.
No.
I'm not really into the platformer 8-bit stuff.
I need to check that out then.
But yeah, you should check it out.
And I did just buy. Well, I already talked about that in the last episode. The 8-bit
Yeah.
does, so that'll be perfect to try out for those games.
Yeah. A couple games that stood out to me was Wasteland 2, which is made by Obsidian, I think, and they
Interesting.
were the ones who created Fallout 1 and
Yeah.
2, which are more isometric top-down RPG.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of like a successor to that. It's like post-apocalyptic isometric RPG, which is coming to the Switch. So that looks pretty cool.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
It's
That's been around for a while.
talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
They finally like revealed the trailer and stuff for it. The
Cool.
only thing I'm worried about is like in the trailer there's a lot of weird frame rate issues and stuff. It kind of looked a little bit like spastic. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's not indicative of how it actually plays. They announced the game called Bastion, which I've always wanted to try.
That's old, but yeah.
Yeah.
I might give it a
that's
shot
coming
if
to the
it's coming.
Switch.
Yeah.
So if I can
Dang,
get it for
they
like
are
$10,
just, like-
I might grab it.
They're just putting everything out there.
Yeah.
I can't think of a game that like Hat in Time was really the only indie game that I was like, please put that on the Switch. And now they
Mhm.
are. So
Waiting for Wargroove. Still waiting on
Is that
Wargroove.
one officially announced or?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming at some point.
Okay.
So
That
that's
one
the
looked fun.
Fire Emblem multiplayer. Like you kind of control your own army and then you play each other, Fire Emblem style.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds
Is it
pretty
like
cool.
fantasy setting like Fire Emblem, or is it
It's like fantasy setting. Yeah.
okay?
So looks pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that you guys I think talked about E3 already, right?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
That was wild.
Sorry.
That
Long
was in
time
like
ago.
June, right?
Yeah.
yeah. 2
Didn't
months
you
ago.
also talked about E3?
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because I just was gonna mention Fire Emblem again. How
Yeah, I think
It
we
looks
talked.
awesome.
I was
about
honestly
Fire
more
Emblem.
hyped for
Yep.
that than all the Smash news. I will not
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
I agree.
Unashamed to say that.
Mhm.
I'm so excited for that game.
That's pretty
I
much
put
the
Diablo
gist.
3 on there too, but I
I
think
think
we
we
already talked about
mentioned,
that.
yeah.
There was a game called Bullet Age, which kind of like there's like those Flash games that I was used to playing like middle school, like those free websites where you could play Flash games, and it
I
kind of
remember
looked
like Mediclip.
yeah, something like that. It kind of looked like that style, so it was kind of cool. And I saw that Dragon Quest XI is coming out on the PS4 soon, but it also is coming out on the Switch at some point. So I might
Nice.
have to try that out because it looks really good. So
Yeah, it does. It has a nice
graphically,
update.
it looks cool.
I've actually debated about buying 10 because it's on the Japanese store
Oh really?
for only like $40, and it's like an MMO,
Oh dang.
which would be really cool. But then also it's in Japanese, so it'd be hard to understand some stuff. But
Nani?
that
Good
still would be
learning
kind of cool.
process.
Yeah. That is true.
There you go.
But 11 looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's like uber updated graphics because I think the last story-driven mainstream one they did was 9 on the DS, and that looks like
Oddly enough, it was on the DS. Oh no, the Japanese version of 11 was released on the DS and the PS4 for some reason,
interesting.
which is weird. A weird combo.
The Japanese releasing, I mean, it's different because over there, that's RPGs for them are like Call of Duty games for us. I'd
Yeah.
say like those are the things that, because I remember hearing that from some people that Dragon Quest is like, I think Dragon Quest is the most popular franchise over there,
I think
So-
yeah. That makes sense.
something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
But
So
the
yeah, that's
granddaddy.
The granddaddy.
The granddaddy news.
The frickin' frickety frick.
Dude.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Holy buckets.
So last night I stayed up till like 10:30 watching that sucker, and I should have gone to bed at like 9:15.
10:30.
Yeah,
That's so late.
That's so late. Yeah.
When you have a
when you got to wake up at 5:45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you two are
Um,
old. I get it.
We're responsible and adults. That's what we are.
But yeah, I watched I didn't watch the whole thing because I eventually was like, I need to go to bed. I'll finish the rest tomorrow or today, I guess.
We should
But-
finish watching the rest of it.
I watched it at lunch today,
Oh, okay.
It's-
but I'd watch it again.
Oh my gosh,
Dude.
dude! Like,
I remember when you guys first said that there was like, excuse me. I remember when you first mentioned that it was like a cyberpunk shooter. I kind of didn't. I thought that was a cool idea, but it was a thing of, it was like, oh, that sounds cool.
It'll be good for the right people.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, they would like that. It was kind of my response. But then after
Mhm.
watching that, I was like, I haven't been excited for a shooter game probably since I remember seeing the trailer for BioShock Infinite, which I picked up
Mhm.
and also still love to death as much as I did before. But I don't think I've been excited for a shooter ever since Infinite's trailer. But now, after watching it,
Oh my
I am
Yeah, I
gosh.
think-
quite stoked.
Yeah, I think
this
the thing
game.
that has me so excited is that it's an actual RPG. Like,
yes, that's what
that-
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
That
your conversation points all matter, and they reiterated so many different times. Like,
your character.
you could have
actually-
done this at this point, or this, or this, or this, and imagine all of the different consequences that would have come from that. Or like, you could have just run in here and killed all these people, but we chose to pay them, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh!
And
like,
the character
and this is just a
customization,
small
too.
Story.
The fact that your character has such a big role to play, because
Mhm.
that's not true. Because I think recent games have been better about making your character feel like, it sometimes feels like your character has a place in the world, but it's not. It's like very surface level, if that makes sense. Like, you make decisions and stuff, but it sometimes can feel. I feel like Mass Effect was like the best example of your decisions matter and you feel like you're part of the universe you're in. But
Mhm.
like this one felt more like you are experiencing a cinematic, or like experiencing a
Mhm.
movie literally. And you're
Yeah.
the star of the show.
I think like even just small details, like you don't have a HUD until you get the upgrade to
Yep.
like to your eye, and like just all like the little technological stuff. Like,
Because could you like
oh,
choose
like-
not to get those?
yeah, you can.
And you
I
can
mean,
get ones
it would
with
be
like
stupid
different
not to,
buffs and stuff.
Yeah,
but that'd be an interesting playthrough though. Is like you
Mhm.
go through a playthrough and it's like, okay, this time I'm not going to do.
You don't have
any.
the cybernetics. Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
Well, I think there's a mechanic where like you have to take this inhaler that like
Yep.
helps your body deal with the fact that you're like half bionic basically, or like she had like a hand modification that like
Mhm.
attached to her gun, and so like it told you how much ammo you have left, and like all of these little things that we take for granted was like tied into like the narrative, and I was
Yeah.
like, this game is going to be so like immersive, and it's insane imagining that they're developing this game, because going from like a game as massive and successful as The Witcher, that game was still a third person action RPG. And so like now they're making a first person shooter RPG, and like that's a pretty huge shift, I think. So, and like just as integrated as like the dialogue options, and it's just, oh gosh.
It
This
looks
is like, if this game ends up being what they're promising it's going to be,
Yes.
it will be my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
I
like
really,
guaranteed. Like I'm
thinking the
already
same
like
thing.
I
Yeah.
already pre-ordered it because I'm like, I want my 20% off.
Yeah.
I kind of do too.
Yeah,
I
for
honestly
real.
might
So-
pre-order it. My thing was, I was telling Josh, is that we talked about in an earlier episode of Mr. Bears, like this, my whole thing with Blade Runner,
Mm-hmm.
that like story-wise there were just some elements, but I would still say that movie invented Cyberpunk setting visually and what it should look
Mhm.
like. And like that whole sequence when she's just in her room, like the character's in her room, and then it's like, this is such and such, the city that like your character is based in. I was like, dang, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That was like what I was hoping they would capture, because like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people can say, oh, it's going to be this theme, and then it just is like very surface level, whereas this one, it's like every little thing was like, you
Down
saw
to every tiny detail.
those
of
dudes
Cyberpunk.
those dudes boxing with like the mechanical arms, like the vending
Yeah.
machine where you literally see the ad and then it'll show you the location where you can purchase that product. Like
Mhm.
those mechanical things, like everyone with like the little upgraded things, the Japanese signs, everything. Oof.
Yeah,
I was all
it's-
over that.
I like the bad guys too, who I forgot what they called them, but they were like they're basically people who have like become more bionic than they are human.
Yep.
And they're like they're kind of like bad guys, more like a gang rather than like malevolent. It was just kind of like she was dealing with them or whatever, and like it was, oh gosh.
I love how they've set it up, is that you do not have like, I think what's been cool is seeing that this game, like, there isn't like a moral code, and like it's supposed to be that way. So it isn't
Mhm.
like, oh, you get punished for doing a like
That's what. I think that's
like a renegade action. It's like, no, like if this is how you want to handle the situation, it's like,
You're gonna
go
make the
for it. This is
consequences,
just
yeah.
how it's going to weave, and some of them might be good, some of them might be bad. So if you're under leveled and these guys are going to smoke you out, then like maybe don't pick a fight with them. But if you wanted to, like, go nuts. It's your
that's
world.
why I was making the
Yeah.
comparison. Sorry to interrupt.
No, okay.
That's the kind of the comparison I was making with Mass Effect before. Is that like Mass Effect? It's like you have Paragon or
Renegade.
Renegade, But like when you do renegade, it's like immediately you face the consequences, and you're like, but that was what I wanted. There is punishment immediately, whereas punishment down the line makes more sense depending on the scenario. So,
well, even in this one, like there was some, you could see the dialogue options, and some of them was like, they always chose like the positive ones where like you're just doing what you're supposed to do, but like even like handing the money chip to the guy, like one of the options was F off and like engage like this gang of people, and I'm like, man, I could see myself like,
I know, I
screw you, boom,
Yeah.
yeah.
like, oh gosh,
I want to be that like bad dude that's like, I don't play by the
yeah,
rules.
exactly. Like I was just like, oh, it's just gonna be so fun to role play in this game.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really freaking excited, and like the cast looks really cool. Like Jackie, I really like his character, and
I like how like they just created the main character in that trailer, but like that your character felt like
I honestly
belonged in that world. Like
exactly.
They felt so immersed, and I was like,
her
I feel
design
like I have
was,
to play as this lady.
Yeah,
now.
No, that's how I
yeah.
felt. Her design was cool enough that I was like, I kind of just want to play as her.
Yeah, I was like, this just feels like the main
game.
character
Yeah.
now. Like,
Right.
it would feel weird. So
Yeah.
it's
which is impressive
Yeah.
because they could have just made a very bland, boring dude, and then you're like, man, these guys don't know creativity.
mhm,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, and that was all their designs and stuff are really cool.
It looks
Customization.
Oh my gosh. I literally, like, yesterday I was drooling. Like, I was drooling over watching, like, just the moments when they're in that first fight in the beginning, and she's like, and she, as soon as she power slid across the floor behind the barrier, I was like, oh, say it ain't so.
The
like,
power sliding, and then like the
like
slow motion, and like the
then it's got
shotgun
like
that
a
can
bullet
shoot through
time
the wall
thing.
and stuff.
Oh my gosh. And like I think it's later on, you didn't get to see that part, but when they were showing off the ricochet bullets where you can get an enhancement, where they were like, okay, like you wouldn't have this at this point in the game, but just to like show it off, here are some things that we're going to be adding in. And so one of them is an eye enhancement where you can actually see a path, where if you start aiming at a wall, it creates a red line the other way, so you can like pop out of cover.
You can like see where your bullets will go.
Exactly, and you can ricochet bullets into people and stuff. And
Excellent.
and they also had it so that you can like double jump, and you can jump and dash too.
Yeah,
so
she was like strafing past his like things. Like
so there was like
and,
she's like fighting the boss, and the guy was literally, whoever's playing was literally like dodging his bullets in real time, was just like step dash step.
Oh,
it was
that's
just
how
like,
shooters should be. You should have maneuverability, not just sprint and crouch.
Yeah, it just
I appreciate
it
that a
looks
lot.
crazy. And then just the shotgun scenes where like there was a couple points where she was like power slide behind this guy, and as soon as she would like power slide in real time, but then as soon as she hit the corner, she would go into the bullet time mode, and she just capped the dude's legs off. Like it literally, it
there was
wasn't
that one
like
scene, he's like,
my
legs. Like slow mo,
Like
like the
SpongeBob.
legs literally get blown off.
Yeah, it literally, like it wasn't a like, oh, you got shot in the legs and his legs are right. It was like dude's in half.
Yeah,
like,
she blew his legs off, and then as he was screaming my legs, she blew his head off.
Yeah, I was like, this game
It's gonna
is
be brutal.
yes.
You did the too.
I feel like this is the game that might finally get me to push over the edge and get like a dope high-end PC with a 4K monitor and just like sit there and wait in anticipation.
The only thing is now it just makes me more excited for it to come out, and I don't want to wait.
I know. I don't want to wait either.
But I think it's
gonna be worth the wait.
I don't.
think.
Even if they would have given me that version today, and even with the bugs, I probably would adore it to death.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
like, I am unbelievably excited to play it in its final stage. Like, even if it's a couple years down the road, like I can't imagine what it's gonna be like.
I hope it lives up to. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is I'm thinking of all the other games that just kind of like had big expectations and then bombed. But like the only one I have context to is No Man's Sky, because that one like utterly. But that was one where it's almost too ambitious, and they like said firsthand, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. But that like 2077 was able to like.
My headphones cut out.
Yeah, mine too.
That's my bad. I was fixing your mic, because that's why we couldn't hear you. All right, you're good.
Yeah. Anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. What were we talking?
Hype, building hype.
Yeah, just the whole thing with I almost said Journey. No, No Man's Sky, like the creator was openly like, you can't do this, you're not able to do
it was
this.
boring. There's nothing in it.
Like it was literally just the exploration aspect, and then that was also boring. But this one's like, it showed you could do this, but it showed it firsthand. It wasn't like this empty, like the creator's like, oh, this game's gonna be great. You can run around, you can shoot guys, you can slide, you can like see your bullets reflecting off the wall. It's like you're able to see that firsthand.
Yeah.
Which commentary on the trailer, I was joking around with Josh. It did get kind of annoying when you're like watching this thing and it's like, we gotta find like the android or whatever right away. It seems like our characters are gonna go find the android. Like,
Yeah.
that
That
play by play was
was
a little
weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was helpful too because he explained a lot of different things.
Yeah, just some of the assassination stuff too, like when she comes up behind him and has the guy in the tub and then to silence it. It was just like,
that was cool.
I know that wasn't like something that the player chose to do, but the fact that they like thought to incorporate
that's a
that
minor
in is,
detail
like,
that you can see that they are
that's a
putting their
stealth
care
thing.
in. Yeah.
It was just like, oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be dope.
it's looking ridiculous. And then like the car, like when they were driving around in the car and stuff too, like
I think like
Oh
it
my
just amazes
goodness.
me that they can make a game that is like a full-fledged role-playing game that has consequences for your speech, for your actions, for everything, but also have good shooting mechanics. Hopefully, it looks like it has good shooting mechanics and also like good driving mechanics. Like that's almost like making 3 separate games at that point. Like it's just going to be crazy.
CD Projekt Red is probably going to go down in history as the greatest developer ever
I
because
mean they've
and they
already created
deserve
one
it.
of the most highly rated role-playing
ever
games of all time
in existence. And like I really really seriously hope that once this game comes out, even it's going to have flaws, there's going to be things in it, whatever. I hope that publishers and developers and these big corporations, even like Bethesda and Blizzard and Activision, whoever, look at what the heck they did. That is why people gravitate so intensely towards their stuff, because it's just good
Yeah.
and it's deep and they don't sacrifice and cut corners, and stuff doesn't all of a sudden just, well, like we wanted to have this in it, so we kind of like, we had to do this because,
Yeah.
deadlines or whatever. And and I think I was reading that
Yeah, how long have they been?
Well,
Sorry to
CD
interject. How long have they been working on this game?
4 or 5
4 or
years,
5
I think.
years.
So it's
Okay.
a long time. So that's to say that, and it's probably at least a year, if not 2, still out. So that's a good amount of development time.
I
However,
think even maybe longer than that.
in my mind, I am way more willing to wait for a game of that scale and magnitude in different universes than I am for like these half-baked or these like very like mediocre open world games. Because I think when we were talking it was a number of episodes ago about the idea of like open world games and
that was
being
like
stale.
Wasn't that one of our?
That was
first
like one of our
pop
first
culture
ones.
episodes?
Yeah, I think we did.
That was a good
We've
one.
touched on it on and off.
Yeah.
I think you'd mentioned on a Tilt Brigade. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But the idea of open world, I think that is so stale. Is it's like, and I think you had made that point, Phil. Is open world is boring because even if it's open and there's like quote unquote freedom, just because I can walk around doesn't mean it's like quote unquote freedom. That's not.
Yeah, that's
freedom.
why a lot of open world games annoy me. Is
I
because
mean, I
like,
think,
there's
yeah.
no point to the world. Like I'm
Mhm.
just walking around. Like it's an empty world that's completely open. Whoop-de-doo. Like I'd rather play a single player linear game that has meaning and substance and structure than
Right.
a dumb
Than
game
this
where I
freeform
can't do
thing.
anything.
Well, that's why I always cite like Breath of the Wild and even like Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. I think what made those 2 great open world games was because your decisions, and like that's why Cyberpunk 2077 looks so appealing, is your decisions you can tackle situations in a number of ways. It's not just a linear way. Because even in a shooter game, it's very much limited to you find the bad guys, you crouch, you shoot. Whereas this one now is adding you can have this upgrade where you can use your bullets this way, or you can upgrade probably like melee attack, or like upgrade these things so that you can actually go on mano without like, because usually when they say that, you still get shot multiple times.
Yeah.
But like there's got to be something where it's like you can choose
Speaking of
weapons and
which,
stuff like that.
Those mantis blades, dude.
dog.
And
was
like that whole
grody.
scene where like
That was grody.
they're like you can like hack into like their mainframe and like turn their guns off through like hacking them, and she like turns his gun off and then like
Yeah.
launches off the ledge and just like uses these mantis blades that pop
So
out
they
of his
basically
arms.
come out of her forearms, and that to me was like when that whole sequence opened, I was like, I'm watching a movie. Like that was unbelievable. Like it's so
But you
small.
can do that. You can make the decision to do that.
But this is the thing. So she comes up behind this guy, and the guy's kind of explaining like, yeah, you can like sneak in and you can actually like jack into other enemies and you can steal their data, because if they're all hooked up through this network, you can actually manipulate them because they're all connected. So she like stealth grabs this guy, kills him, and then pops in her cord or whatever, and is downloading, and it jumps into all of a sudden this like Matrix style, like there's like cubes everywhere, and it's like a digital mainframe where you can actually like look and scroll through data and find out like, okay, like this guy is this, and they know this, and this is the building specs, and this is where all these people are located. You can like do all this stuff, and then she finds like all the things to like turn off people's weapons. And then it jumps into the thing where she's looking over the edge. And she's like, all right, we're going to murder that guy. But before we do that, we're going to turn this guy's weapon off. Yeah. And then we're going to jump on this first dude. And then the guy's like trying to unjam his gun. And he's like frantically like looking up. And then she like lunges at him and just dices him.
Yeah.
And, oh, my Lord. Oh,
and here's the thing is like, it's very easy for developers to be like, well, gamers aren't going to think that far ahead and not want to do all the rigmarole of hacking and blah, blah, blah. But so like, if you think about it in retrospect, that gameplay mechanic is very secondary. Like that's not necessary to probably fight those guys, but it adds that level of nuance, not only to the world and how technology is integrated into people, but also how you can make those kind of decisions, which is very, very gutsy and awesome, which I appreciate. So
yeah. It's gonna be.
We could gush on and on.
It's gonna be
and I mean, we didn't even get to the like some of the weapons that they've shown. Like one of them is like a gun that had bullets that she's literally standing behind a wall, and they're like they just auto track.
Lock onto your enemies,
they just lock onto the enemy. So she's like standing behind a wall that Jackie's holding up a car, and the guy's like shooting the car, and so she's standing behind it. You can't even see the guy, but she's just firing in the air, and you see the bullets arcing over.
Nice.
And then there was like, I've heard that you can use like katanas and stuff too, so there's gonna be like swords and things.
That's all I'm gonna use that's all I'm gonna use in that game.
It's gonna
I'm not
be.
even kidding.
It's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be crazy, and just how deep, even like that opening screen when they were showing the title and like the specs and how you build your whole backstory of like why you're in the city. That was nuts. And I don't even know how that's gonna play into it and what that's all gonna entail.
Yeah, because there was like some of the options were like, I forget who it was, but like almost like who do you worship or who do you follow, and like different things that you could choose that like construct your character's story.
So I'm sure that
which
those
is
are
kind of
probably
like a
dialogue
more complex
trees,
version of like the Paragon,
Yep.
whatever in Mass Effect.
When I wouldn't be surprised if those are keys for dialogue trees.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like I wonder if because like we had said we were talking that character V, was it?
Yeah.
It's like that character, the reason why she was so appealing is because she felt like a fleshed out character before you even started the game. And I think it's because they had those story choices pre-selected so that she would be that kind of character in the game.
Yeah.
Which is really, really impressive.
I think the cool part too is like there's no actual like class. They said there's no actual classes. It's more like it's a fluid class system. So like you can choose at any moment to like decide who you want to be, so it's like this fluid thing of like
it's realistic.
Yeah,
basically.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be. I don't want to wait.
Me neither.
I don't want to wait.
Yeah, dude. That may be. It was interesting because I think just seeing it and getting excited and just thinking of like, holy crap, this may be the game that when this comes out, that may be my game of the year. And like, I literally maybe I will just like for the first time ever like just play that game, because I think I've been realizing this is I've been just trying to fly through titles and books and movies and all this stuff just because it's like, well, I got to get to the next one because I have like 20 more behind it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm missing out on games. Like I think if I would have been able to play The Witcher 3 with patience, I would have really liked it. But I think it's not a hand-holding game. Like it does not train you of like, okay, like Breath of the Wild even, it's like, okay, here's your tablet and you're gonna go to these shrines and then you're gonna get this and granted you like learn creative ways to do stuff, but it kind of it at least like directs you of like, here's some general things you like, whereas Witcher, you're in it, get on your horse and ride,
kind of
buddy.
have to like follow the path. And I remember I got to a certain point, like I hadn't even learned how to make health potions. I just took for granted that like games always just give you health potions or like give you food to eat, and I like got to this point where I could not get past it because I hadn't done anything to make health potions.
So and So I think especially with this game too, in this setting, I think is going to be one where I'm just probably going to want to walk around.
Dude, I'm just going to explore like all of the aesthetic and like the restaurants, and like I just want to talk to random people on the street and figure out, like, because they even said like it's almost like not procedurally generated, but each person in the world has like a backstory actually, and like there's like different stories for each person. So like it'll be cool just like talk to people on the street and see what they have to say.
And it is something that is possible because Octopath Traveler actually has the two mechanics that are similar is that you can switch freely between classes, but it's a very nice system that like you can change a class and then you level up that class and then you can like change and then level up the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But also like you don't have to talk to these people, but if you have this one character that can do like he has like this thing where like if you choose his dialogue option, you can like read basically every NPC's backstory and just a little tidbit about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's a thing of that. I appreciate that of like it's not one, it's not out of the realm of possibility, and two, this would be even better because you're in that such of an interactive world.
It's gonna be interesting. And they even said every character's got a home and a bed to go back to at the end of the night. So like every character in that game is living out
if you just
their
like
life
followed
naturally. Like if you just followed a person, you like, oh, they're going to work now. Oh, it's work is done. Now they're going home. Oh, they're going to the restaurant.
So you're gonna be a stalker when you get the game.
Yeah, it's like it's just crazy. Like it's because in a lot of games, like they just don't have that in it because they just have to populate it to make it look thing. But they're like, no, this world is alive. This world is bustling, and like it's
that's how games should be, dude.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Think of like, could you imagine? So like, let's say you did that. Like, let's say, okay, because this is how far ahead that they're in the headspace of. Okay, let's say you're like, all right, I can follow this random guy home, or I can just follow him and kind of trail him all day. What happens when you like get home and all of a sudden you like he gets to the door and he like pulls a gun on you because he's like, you've been following me, or like leave me alone, or like what,
like,
you know, like all of a
immersing.
sudden, or like he's like, are you like one of these guys like I paid him off, I swear, like, and all of a sudden there's this narrative that unfolds because it's like you stalked that one NPC that has the backstory that he
Just for
owes
poops and
money to
giggles.
somebody, and like then all of a sudden you get pulled into this thing. He's like, wait, if you're not with him, if you go pay him off or you go kill him, I'll give you something. And it's like, oh my gosh, dude,
it's gonna be awesome.
It's getting me so excited for the idea of just playing a game where like you actually have to make decisions, and you actually have to make decisions in a world that is not our own versus like, here's kind of the things we've anticipated would be fun to try. Go for it. And
it looks like it's
be a
very
big
much a
difference.
game that it's taking all the great aspects of video games
Yeah.
and putting it together, and it's not doing it haphazardly, it's doing meticulously, which is what I was worried about originally, but seeing that trailer, it seems like they're just putting all the things that other games have done right in the past in this.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely crazy.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
crazy.
It's gonna be
I don't think
It's
like
gonna be
I don't think
huge.
I've ever felt the level of excitement that I felt when I watched that gameplay trailer for any game ever.
no.
Like
Yeah.
I think they could announce like a new BioShock or something, and I would be like, no, Cyberpunk 2077.
As much as
Like,
I am excited, Breath of the Wild, that trailer, the first Breath of the Wild trailer, I was literally in tears.
yeah.
So
I literally cried.
I feel like I was the same way with this game. Like I wanted to cry at first. I was like, this is like as beautiful of a game that it was just like an alpha trailer. Like this is just
that was the insane
this
part.
is
I was like,
just the alpha. Like we're still working.
I kind
on
of
it.
was
I'm
like, can I just play that now? Like,
yeah, I'm like,
with
this
that
looks
thing.
better than almost any game right now.
We moving
like,
to Poland. We beta testing.
yeah,
baby.
like you need QAers. Like,
yeah, like come on, dudes.
So I don't know. I don't think even like when Fallout 4 was first announced after a long time of there not being a Fallout, like I was pretty hyped for that, and like I'm still like 10 times more excited than I was for that. So
Oh yeah, this game is gonna be nuts.
even Pokemon next year, I won't be as excited as I am for this game. So
I think I totally agree, and it's weird because I've been trying to process like why, and I think it's because like this game is just so unlike any. It hasn't ever been even attempted. Like even things relatively in the ballpark don't even come close to what this game is trying to do.
Well, my thing is that I remember being really skeptical at the premise of it, but it showed that it's delivering.
Exactly.
As of right now, that is the biggest thing.
Yes. There's no room for excitement if it's like, oh well, it's gonna be this, and
Because it could have been
world.
Yeah, it could have been a really, really crappy trailer, and like everyone was like, "Oh, that's what the game looks like," or like, "Oh, that's not really that deep of a mechanic," or like, "Oh, you could do that. That's kind of neat, I guess." But it's like, so it showed it. it lived up to the hype.
Yep.
Which few
And it's
games
not even
do.
done. Like,
Yeah,
and
it's not even
that's
done.
the thing is, it's not even done yet. Which, man, dog, it's unreal. Man.
I forget. Like there was somebody who posted something. It was just like it was on Reddit, but like they were like, "This is like New Vegas Red Dead," and they just like it was like a string of like 8 names of games like all combined into one. Like and it was like basically a combination of all these games into one. And I was like, this is literally what they're trying to accomplish with this game. Because like you could talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, but like. Yes, that game's a huge open world game. It's got the story, it's got the graphics, it's got like the realistic characters, but it doesn't have like the role playing depth that this game promises to have. And like it
doesn't have
just
the
like
huge weapon difference.
Yeah,
that you
like
have
whatever
in
game you list off, this game is trying to do 10 more things than that game has tried to do.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like it could still fail. I acknowledge
That's why
that,
I'm like, yeah.
but I feel like they've shown us with The Witcher 3 that they can make a game that will stand the test of time and like will beat out any game. So, and I haven't even played The Witcher 3, but like it's been reviewed like 9s and 10s across the board, and like it's always in top 10 game lists. And like I feel like they've shown us that they can create a game that will live
an open
forever,
world game
basically.
that lives up to what an open world game should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
all the thoughts.
Right on. Cyberpunk. Punks for punk.
Cyber free
Baby.
Pop Culture Punk support Cyberpunk 2077.
pop culture
Yeah.
cyberpunk.
Well,
Poopy.
Thanks for joining the psychopath pop culture
What?
Cyberpunk psychopath pop culture.
psychopaths pop punk, which I still need to watch.
Psychopaths, pop culture, pop,
Psychopaths.
cyberpunk,
That's a show I need to rewatch.
pop, cyberpunk 2077 podcast.
That was a Cyberpunk show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Super good.
Very,
First
very good.
season, at least. I never watched season 2.
I didn't either.
Well,
Season
everyone-
1, Psychopaths.
Timmy told us not to watch season 2.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Timmy.
at the time, I trusted Timmy's opinion.
I still trust
No, a
Timmy's
lot of
opinion.
people have said that I watched one guy do a video. It didn't spoil anything from season 1, but he said the problem was because season 2, I think writers changed, or just it was like either the studio changed or the writers changed or something like that, which is going to
Never
blow
goes well.
any. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we bid our boy, that boy, young Zach, a fond cowabunga as he heads to Japan for a year, and we'll get him on. We'll have him Skype in. We'll have him send in some videos and stuff. And
Send in some questions.
Send us some
to the
videos.
Gmail.
send in some questions.
I am a loyal fan of Pop Culture Punks. Phil and Josh, why is Zach not on the show anymore? He was obviously the best person in the show.
He was clearly the heart of the show.
I personally am
Why'd you fire him?
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah,
we
why
don't
did
wanna
you
go
fire me?
I can't say that.
Yeah, we can't.
Legal reasons.
We can't reveal that online for legal reasons.
Anyway, we're going to miss him.
Oh,
But
I'll miss you guys too.
send your love.
Mhm.
He's still on Twitter. He's still going to be
Which I
here.
don't post on it.
Yeah. I mean, I just like stuff. That's all I do.
Same.
I usually
Um,
just at you guys and things that I think you would
Yep. Same.
find cool.
And I'll
Yeah.
say like, I'll be like, who is this? Who's retweeting this?
Who dis?
Who dis?
But on that note, you can listen to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. We also got some Twitters that you can follow if you'd like to kind of see some of the stuff that we'll be talking about, some sneak peeks, and things that we are following and liking. And you can follow us at Six Wing Creative, which is me. You can follow Zach at C San Pellegrino, Phil at I am Phil Sorensen, Spilly Philly, and our
Pop culture.
our
punks
boy
spill.
Papa Tilt at Chris of the Vast. We have a Redbubble page.
Where'd he come up with that name?
It's from
It's
Magic, I
Magic
think,
the Gathering. It's like a card.
That would be Chris's name.
Yeah.
Then again, mine is
Yeah.
Childish San Pellegrino. That's what the C stands for.
Yeah.
It's funny. Childish
Uh-huh.
Gambino, Childish San Pellegrino,
I got it.
like the drink, like the really refreshing drink.
I
We also have a
love San
Redbubble
Pellegrino.
where we have some designs of our logo and stuff. And if you'd like some things that to be shown differently, or you'd like a cooler design, let me know. I'll hit you up.
Put
got you,
a
bro.
shirt with my face
We're
on it.
that diabetic horse though. Or do it for the pod. Evan said she would buy one.
Do it for the pod. She would.
Or diabetic horse.
Diabetic horse.
She said either of those she would
either
buy.
of those. Okay, I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. I
Just
can't wait to get that email.
Draw a stick horse and put my face on it.
That would be kind
That'd
of
be weird.
pretty funny.
No, just give a horse like Phil's beard and glasses.
My-
Or
and a
draw a stick
snapback.
horse and then have me riding on it.
But no, then
Interesting.
you wouldn't be the diabetic horse. You'd be riding the diabetic horse.
A diabetic riding a diabetic horse. What else am I supposed to ride?
What else am I supposed to ride?
Diabetic.
I would have nothing in common.
Here's my
Diabetic
plan.
giraffe, diabetic zebra, diabetic whale, diabetic dolphin.
I mean, I'd take a whale.
I had a really weird dream last night, and I think it's
with a
because-
diabetic horse.
No, it was about whales, and I think it's because on Twitter I saw there's this hilarious Twitter handle where they just post. It's called Whale Facts, but it's like one of those Twitter handles where they like the whale fact of the day was like most whales can't read, and so for whatever reason I can't sleep at night, and so I'll take like melatonin, and you have some trippy dreams.
Yeah,
if
you
you
do.
take melatonin. And I had this dream about like working with the whales to save the earth for some reason, and which I literally think is the plot of a Star Trek movie. It's like one of the old
The
ones.
space whales, yeah.
Yeah, the space
Like-
whales one, which I was like, what the frick was that?
They were like, I will help your planet.
So anyway, be on the lookout for Whale Song t-shirts and diabetic
Whale Song
horse.
United. Whale
Whale
Song
Song-
United.
Whale Song United. Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Make that into a
I will make
t-shirt.
that into a t-shirt. I really hope Christians just don't have a good sense of humor though, so they wouldn't think it's funny. They probably wouldn't even get the joke through. What is this? What is this supposed to be? Get it? Hillsong United.
Whale Song
Whale Song
United.
United.
See, I didn't even get that.
Or how about Bill Song United?
Boo.
It's Bill.
Boo. Anyway, yeah, legit. If you would like a design or t-shirt, let me know. I'm all about
I'll
it.
let you know.
Cool.
Maybe I'll make
Be
my
on the
own
lookout.
t-shirt.
Be on the lookout for Diabetic Horse t-shirt on Redbubble, and do I do it for the pod or do
Just
it for
do
the
it for the pod.
do it for
And
the
if
pod?
you want to learn about the diabetic horse, watch episode... What number?
I couldn't tell.
Oh,
you.
I think it's literally called The Legend of Diabetic
yeah,
Horse.
Yeah.
it's got.
Watch
diabetic
that
horse in
episode
there.
and then listen to that episode and then
Yes.
listen to the rest of our episodes.
What number episode are we on? Are we almost 50 yet?
We're
We have to have a
almost to
celebration
50.
for that.
Diabetic
What if this
Horse
was
is
the
episode
50th episode?
31. This is 40, I believe.
Dang.
The big 40.
Because 38, yeah, this is 40. Big episode 40.
I will for sure be on the 50th
Although it'll
one.
be awkward depending on. Never mind.
What?
I don't
I'll
get
explain it after we stop talking or are not recording.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
We're
just
messing.
caught on.
We're messing with the continuity here.
Plot hole.
Plot hole.
JK,
But yeah.
in our heads, this is 40,
What
but
if
it's
this?
actually
I think
39.
it is 40. But
What if
It's
none
actually
of this
39.
is real? And
oh,
it's
this
just-
is 39 because of continuity
Yeah,
areas. Yeah.
'cause of
We're rebooting
continuity.
the franchise again.
Again, one
Yeah.
more time.
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Phase 1.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a part
Once
of.
Zach leaves,
I'm not
we're
a part of
rebooting because
I want to be part of the reboot.
We're erasing
I wanna
Zach.
be in the
Actually, no,
reboot.
I don't, because whenever the series gets rebooted,
It's never as good.
everyone's
No,
gonna be like,
it's
"Where's
always
Zach?
be-
I
it's
want
always
Zach
better.
back on."
Not true. Every time we've rebooted, we've gotten better.
It's gotten better.
Objectively.
More listeners,
Yep.
more better feedback,
More better
questions.
feedback. Yep.
More-
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all true.
It's all
Next
true.
thing, it's gonna be more T-shirt sales.
Yep.
Yeah. So we do need to reboot
We
it
need to
one more
reboot.
time. One more time, and
We're
then
pulling
we're in.
a Marvel and we're rebooting again. Marvel Comics.
Yeah, buddy.
You're doing a Marvel comic.
We're doing
Anyway.
a Marvel
Rebooting
comic.
it.
We're
And with
rebooting.
that, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your ears and you taking the time to listen to our rants and rambles and all around goofiness.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know if you'd like us to talk about anything. Send those to @PopCulturePunks on Twitter or popculturepunks@gmail.com. And until next time, friends, we bid you a fond cowabunga.
Goodbye,
I'm fat.
my listeners. Goodbye.
Voices in my heart tell me to throw it all away, to toss it in the wind and forget yesterday. But the crowd comes singing back with that same old song. You've got bills you've gotta pay. What about job security? But I've been dreaming about packing it all up, 'cause the war in me just won't relent till there's nothing left but dust. So what do you do when the walls start all just in your head.